Hello and welcome back to 4FS Gaming. This video is a first in a new series that will take you through the different compounds in the Louisiana Bayou and provide a tactical perspective on all of the areas surrounding boss lairs and approaches to the compounds. Because this is the first time that I'm making a video in this series, I would love it if you guys watched to the end and then gave me some feedback in the comment section below. Today we will be looking at Cypress Huts. If we look at the map, this compound is one of the 4 corner swamps, as I like to call them, and is definitely the most accessible and open of these 4 areas, as the compound itself is on the shore, not within the swamp and the water. There are 2 nearby spawns to Cypress, one on the road to the west, from which most players will always go straight to Cypress Huts, and one on the road south of the compound across the water. Players that spawn here often check this 3rd spawn to their east before moving to the compound, or they may even go straight to Davant Ranch. We are going to start our tour on the road that approaches Cypress Huts from the southeast. The bank of the lake provides one of the best approaches to get near to the compound. Although much of it is very open, the white outbuilding obscures the view of anyone who is further inside the perimeter fence, and when you do get close to this fence, there are thickets of trees that provide excellent cover to engage anyone on the other side. The only problem from here is actually entering the compound. You have 2 options to do so. One of them is this ladder to the south, which is exposed to fire from the 2nd floor of the main building, which is where most defenders will be sitting. I do not recommend using this ladder unless you are sure any enemy hunters are cleared from the area or are completely out of position. The second option to enter from the east is this hole in the fence. Again, it is within line of sight to the main buildings, and it does require crouching to enter, so you do have to pick your opportunities to enter carefully. In addition, there are most likely going to be multiple sound traps on the other side of the fence here, including a chicken coop and a dying horse that has a common spawn in this area. That being said, it still is much faster and also much safer than going through the swamp and up that ladder. Moving to the north side approach, the small rise behind the wooden fence has a lot of soft cover, bushes and wood that obscures line of sight, but it won't stop bullets very well at all. It's a great place to scope out the elevated areas inside of the compound, and if you need to fall back, going down the hill will give you an easy escape from enemy fire. The thicket of trees on the north compound fence will also serve as excellent cover if you wish to move forward and close the distance without fully committing to entering the compound. The entrances from the north side are the cattle gate, which is noisy, slow, requires standing still, and as such is probably suicide. But just to the west of this thicket of trees is possibly the best entrance into the huts. This small hole in the fence is only visible from these 2 outbuildings, so you don't have to cover many positions to enter safely. It is also far enough away from that dog cage to your right that it won't be triggered, even if you stand up and walk normally once inside. Right next to this little entrance there's also a main gate, but I can't see much reason to use this over the crouch hole, because it exposes you to the main building roof and it is much closer to that sound trap. Moving over to the swamp on the west side approach, the only real feature is this small outcrop here. There are numerous ladders and a ramp to get up there, and even though the ladders will put you in cover, the ramp is still probably quicker and safer. This little island does have a lot of cover, and you can easily pull back to the woods further west if you are getting pushed, as it is not that far back across the water. The house on the outcrop is also handy, but be aware that the floor is littered with metal cans and will make a lot of noise in here if not crouching. The window provides an excellent concealed sightline to the top of the main building and also to the southern corner of the boss lair, making it a prime position for a surprise initiation. If you want to push across into the main section of the compound from here, you have 2 options, an exposed plank boardwalk, or you can drop down and take this ramp down here. Now the southern side of this compound is the swamp, and there are some general rules about pushing or approaching through deep water, like you shouldn't do it at all. But nevertheless, here are the possibilities that the swamp presents to you. There is a sniper tower that provides an excellent unparalleled view of most of the compound's 2nd level. With a long rifle, you can make some excellent shots from this location. It is also very difficult for enemy hunters to push you from the compound while you are in this structure. However, this isolation also works to your disadvantage. It is equally difficult for you to push into the compound to take advantage of a good shot, and even harder to safely retreat if you need to. If players that you've engaged from this tower decide to retreat and run north, it is also very unlikely that you will ever catch them. There are 2 ways into the compound efficiently from the swamp. There is this long ramp, which is a balls to the wall, fast and exposed method, good for when your opponents are out of position, but still very risky. There is also this outbuilding hut, which not only provides good cover much closer to the compound, but also provides a decent sightline to the southeast of the compound. One major advantage of this hut is that it has a lot of metal cover, so anything less than long ammo becomes a lot less scary. This is somewhat dampened by the fact that to enter the compound from here, you do have to cross a narrow plank that almost always has one or even two explosive barrels on it, and another one just on the other end. So with the exterior approaches covered, let's look at the anatomy of Cypress Huts inside of the wall. The main compound consists of only a large building with an open second floor. It's inside this large building, which you can always find the boss if it's at this location. It also has two white huts on stilts that flank the main building. There is a barn as well, mentioned earlier, to the north. And all around this is the yard, which is an open area with cover scattered around, usually also full of zombies. This white hut to the east is one of the best ways onto the second floor of Cypress. The ladder is more or less completely hidden from the rest of the compound. The risky part is actually vaulting inside the hut itself, which often has shotgun camping hunters or bear traps waiting for you. From the platform above the ladder, you can actually turn around and jump over the fence, landing outside of the compound, which is extremely handy for a quick exit, and you will also land amongst a thicket of trees for plenty of cover. Once inside this hut, turning left will take you to an exposed boardwalk that leads to the roof of the main building, and turning right will reveal an external staircase going back down to the yard. Underneath this building is a generator, which can be turned on to conceal the noise of your footsteps if you so wish, at the cost of being less able to hear yourself. The north yard is often infested with grunts, sound traps, but also has a lot of cover. Solid cover that even long ammo will not be able to penetrate, like this large stack of wood or these large crates. The barn also provides an excellent place to recover, restock on ammo, and reposition when in a gunfight. Then we have the west outbuilding, and this staircase here is the only entrance from the ground. Be aware that this door is occasionally barred shut. Remember that this is one of the only locations with good sightlines to that hole in the fence, and it can be used to get easy headshots on sneaky hunters. Moving on to the main roof of the compound, this is where most hunters will be during banishing or defending a bounty. It has plenty of space to move around, and there is an abundance of pickups such as lanterns and bear traps for you to use. Often there are numerous ammo crates as well, and of course excellent 360-degree vision to almost all approaches to the compound. Those great sightlines work both ways however, and if you do choose to fight from here, enemies will expect it, so keep moving your head at all times unless in complete concealment. Beware that once hunters enter the perimeter of the compound, you can expect them to throw consumables up here to try and kill or dislodge you. Now staying up here is also a good idea even if you have something like a shotgun, because this area, along with the two boardwalks leading to it from the outbuildings, kind of acts as a fast transport system across the entire compound. You can run to any point and drop down next to an enemy if you so wish for an unexpected attack from above. Now let's move on to the boss lair itself. There are 4 entrances to this lair. The first is this sliding trapdoor, which always spawns closed. This is a good place to enter from because it is probably the least exposed of all the other options. The southern double doors are what many hunters use, however you are extremely exposed from all areas to your south. Anyone who tries to cheese the butcher from here is just asking for a bullet to the head. You don't want to be hanging around at this entrance, just run in or run out and then close the door after you. If approaching from the west or the south, this is your quickest entrance however. Now this small door is the third entrance, however it is always barred when the match starts. I do not recommend breaking it down to get in if the boss is still alive, because then you have to worry about other hunters coming in through this door to get you later. You can use this peephole to shoot out the board, opening the door easily. This is good if you wish to attack hunters already inside, quickly and unexpectedly. Most players don't expect barred doors to be opened by a single pistol shot. In fact, sometimes you can simply press F to remove a bar through this hole, although that's probably a glitch and should be fixed. The final entrance is the north side crank door, which is rarely used because it is noisy and slow and it requires standing still. You can't even shoot effectively out of the grate in this one. There are also some cheeky holes in the wall that can be shot out of. This works well when enemies are sneaking outside of the immediate wall of the lair and you have a shotgun. Now this side room here is a great place to push from if you need to attack players surrounding the boss lair. It provides a swift one-way exit if the door is still barred. Notice that from here you still cannot see the sneaky north side hole in the fence mentioned earlier. The southwest corner provides a place to unload a shotgun into a player running around to the south door. But the east side wall doesn't provide any opportunities to shoot out at all. It's completely sealed up. When defending this compound, I am personally a big fan of having one person up on the roof to spot and lay down fire on approaching enemies, while the second hunter moves around on the ground to flank. When placing bear traps around this compound, my recommendations are the tops of ladders, on the thinner walkways, and on the other side of this window in the east white hut. Of course, this means when approaching the compound, these are also places where you might want to watch out for bear traps. One final note for fighting the spider in this compound: if you really want to kill it silently with melee weapons, you need to stand on the higher parts of the floor at the ends of the boss room, so that the spider will be in melee range even when sitting on the roof. And that more or less brings this video to a close, our first tactical tour of Cypress Huts. Please let me know what you think of it in the comment section below, and I would be honoured if you subscribed and dropped a like on this video as well. If you want to get in touch, ask some questions, or go hunting, you can check out our Discord server, linked in the description below. And if you would like to support what we do here at 4FS Gaming, we also have a Patreon set up for that, linked below as well. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ascendant from 4FS Gaming.